morning, this is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess, bringing you day 58 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be February 27th if you're starting at the new year. The confusion of pain and joy. The realm is the result of premises, just as the world is. You may have carried the ego's reasoning to its logical conclusion, which is total confusion about everything. If you really saw this result, you could not want it. The only reason you could possibly want any part of it is because you do not see the whole of it. You are willing to look at the ego's premises, but not at their logical outcome. Is it not possible that you have done the same thing with the premises of God? Your creations are the logical outcome of her premises. Her thinking has established them for you. They are exactly where they belong. They belong in your mind as part of your identification with hers. But your state of mind and your recognition of what is in it depend on what you believe about your mind. Whatever these beliefs may be, they are the premises that will determine what you accept into your mind. It is surely clear that you can both accept into your mind what is not there and deny what is. Yet the function God herself gave your mind through her, you may deny, but you cannot prevent. It is the logical outcome of what you are. The ability to see a logical outcome depends on the willingness to see it. But its truth has nothing to do with your willingness. Truth is God's will. Share her will, and you share what she knows. Deny her will as yours, and you are denying her realm and yours. The Holy Spirit will direct you only so as to avoid pain. Surely no one would object to this goal if she recognized it. The problem is not whether what the Holy Spirit says is true, but whether you want to listen to what she says. You no more recognize what is painful than you know what is joyful, and are in fact very apt to confuse the two. The Holy Spirit's main function is to teach you to tell them apart. What is joyful to you is painful to the ego. And as long as you are in doubt about what you are, you will be confused about joy and pain. This confusion is the cause of the whole idea of sacrifice. Obey the Holy Spirit and you will be giving up the ego, but you will be sacrificing nothing. On the contrary, you will be gaining everything. If you believed this, there would be no conflict. That is why you need to demonstrate the obvious to yourself. It is not obvious to you. You believe that doing the opposite of God's will can be better for you. You also believe that it is possible to do the opposite of God's will. Therefore, you believe that an impossible choice is open to you, and one which is both fearful and desirable. Yet, God wills. She does not wish. Your will is as powerful as hers because it is hers. The ego's wishes do not mean anything because the ego wishes for the impossible. You can wish for the impossible, but you can will only with God. This is the ego's weakness and your strength. The Holy Spirit always sides with you and with your strength. As long as you avoid her guidance in any way, you want to be weak. Yet weakness is frightening. What else, then, can the decision mean except that you want to be fearful? The Holy Spirit never asks for sacrifice, but the ego always does. When you are confused about the distinction in motivation, it can only be due to projection. Projection is a confusion in motivation, and given this confusion, trust becomes impossible. No one gladly obeys a guide she does not trust. But this does not mean that the guide is untrustworthy. In this case, it always means that the follower is. However, this too is merely a matter of her own belief. Believing that she can betray, she believes that everything can betray her. Yet this is only because she has elected to follow false guidance. Unable to follow this guidance without fear, she associates fear with guidance and refuses to follow any guidance at all. The Holy Spirit is perfectly trustworthy as you are. God herself trusts you, and therefore your trustworthiness is beyond question. It will always remain beyond question. however much you may question it. I said before that you are the will of God. Her will is not an idle wish, and your identification with her will is not optional, since it is what you are. Sharing her will with me is not really open to choice, though it may seem to be. The whole separation lies in this error. The only way out of the error is to decide that you do not have to decide anything. Everything has been given you by God's decision. That is her will, and you cannot undo it. Even the relinquishment of your false decision-making prerogative, which the ego guards so jealously, is not accomplished by your wish. It was accomplished for you by the will of God, who has not left you comfortless. Her voice will teach you how to distinguish between pain and joy, and will lead you out of the confusion you have made. There is no confusion in the mind of a child of God, whose will must be the will of the mother, because the mother's will is her child. Miracles are in accord with the will of God, whose will you do not know, because you are confused about what you will. This means that you are confused about what you are. If you are God's will and do not accept her will, you are denying joy. The miracle is therefore a lesson in what joy is. Being a lesson in sharing, it is a lesson in love, which is joy. Every miracle is thus a lesson in truth, and by offering truth, you are learning the difference between pain and joy. And lesson 58, review of lessons 36 through 40. These ideas are for review today. 36. My holiness envelops everything I see. From my holiness does the perception of the real world come. Having forgiven, I no longer see myself as guilty. I can accept the innocence that is the truth about me. Seen through understanding eyes, the holiness of the world is all I see, for I can picture only the thoughts I hold about myself. 37. My holiness blesses the world. The perception of my holiness does not bless me alone. Everyone and everything I see in its light shares in the joy it brings to me. There is nothing that is apart from this joy, because there is nothing that does not share my holiness. As I recognize my holiness, so does the holiness of the world shine forth for everyone to see. 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. My holiness is unlimited in its power to heal, because it is unlimited in its power to save. What is there to be saved from except illusions? And what are all illusions except false ideas about myself? My holiness undoes them all by asserting the truth about me. In the presence of my holiness, which I share with God herself, all idols vanish. 39. My holiness is my salvation. Since my holiness saves me from all guilt, recognizing my holiness is recognizing my salvation. It is also recognizing the salvation of the world. Once I have accepted my holiness, nothing can make me afraid. And because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my understanding, which is the gift of God to me and to the world. 40. I am blessed as a child of God. Herein lies my claim to all good and only good. I am blessed as a child of God. All good things are mine, because God intended them for me. I cannot suffer any loss or deprivation or pain because of who I am. My mother supports me, protects me, and directs me in all things. Her care for me is infinite and is with me forever. I am eternally blessed as her child. Okay, that's it for today. May love be with you. May you be aware of its presence. Until next time.